When I look at a map, I think about possibility. I see potential. Where's the expedition line? Where is wildlife going to be? Where is a cool ski? To zoom out and look at a place from above. It's perspective. I really relish opportunities to visit people and see places kind of, I guess, undoctored.
So we're waking up today to the first clear day we've had in 4 or 5 days. Could possibly be the greatest morning of my life.
I hitchhiked across Iceland. I hitchhiked through Uganda. Hiked across the length of South America.
Crikey, isn't he beautiful?
Traveling at that pace and traveling in that way, it's so awesome. You meet incredible people. You're moving at this natural human pace. There's just something so natural about the rhythm of a step.
Woo-wee. Now we are in Argentina.
About halfway through, I had been asking myself, why the hell am I doing this? It benefits absolutely no one in the world but myself.
Been walking for about 9 months now. I'm learning so much about myself, so much about what I want to do with my life and who I want to become.
And I decided in that moment that my life was going to be about service. I just fell in love with the idea that I could be outside doing what I love to do and do something good at the same time. Every friend that I've got has had that same feeling I had, where they want to do more, where they wish that there was some way that they could give back to the places they play. And I just saw that there's a huge opportunity. So I Googled, how do you start a nonprofit? And here we are now 10 years later. This is our 10-year anniversary this year. Citizen science is a field I had never heard of when I started this organization, but it's this idea that people from all walks of life can get involved in the scientific process. These are people who love the outdoors already. They're people who play in the outdoors, but they probably haven't done a ton of conservation or science work. There's this natural fit. It takes adventurers to get to these places, and if we can give them the tools, give them the training, give them the background they need, suddenly you give access to these data that would just never be part of the equation otherwise. Our work is collecting data, but it's about so much more than that.
Welcome back. How was your trip?
So much goes into motivating volunteers, to planning these projects, to respecting Indigenous rights. Today, we've got a staff of 15 that do everything. They're absolutely amazing. We've collected data for almost 150 different scientists at this point, everything from pollinator studies, carbon off of glaciers around the world, scat samples, tree cores for genetic and chemical reference libraries. One of our projects is a survey of all wild and scenic rivers across the U.S. These are the most pristine and important waterways we have in this country, and 40% of those rivers have never been surveyed for water quality.
When I first saw Greg speak, I thought it was like a really cool concept. And the Wild and Scenic Rivers Project was perfect because I spend probably most of my time on wild and scenic rivers. It was this idea of connecting to the rivers in this not wildly sports-centric way, but rather doing like checkups on these rivers. It's really easy to be really self-interested in the sport of kayaking. And I've always felt like I want to nurture this relationship with the river where it's not about me or my sport, but it's about connecting with these places and preserving them. Rivers have given a lot to me, so whatever I can give back feels pretty important. We're in a time right now where people have shown a massive distrust in science, and I think citizen science has the power to improve trust in science because you need to participate in stuff to understand how it works.
From the very beginning, it was always about impact for me. if the world isn't changing as a result of our work, then we're missing the opportunity, we're missing the bus. We've collected the largest data set on Earth for microplastics. We've found fungi on the top of Mount Everest that can be used to increase crop yields around the world. We've had over 15,000 volunteers. I don't know exactly how many countries we've worked in, but it's over 100.
Yeah, swoosh, swish, swoosh.
It's amazing that so many people have chosen to believe in this. It's been awesome.
What up?
We live in an interesting time where data is everywhere. But we don't need more data to know that climate change is real or happening. I mean, it's freaking obvious. Look around. The IPCC and experts have said that we've got 10 years to turn this ship around. It's so hard to put yourself in that future, but if you imagine yourself in 2100 or you imagine yourself in the later part of the century, and we can't breathe the air, and storms are so violent that they're wiping out entire coastal cities. Fires are burning constantly. These things are real. If we don't really make a difference as a society, we won't recognize this planet. Mars isn't an option. We've got one home. And I think the people who do get it, the people who are aware of how big of an existential threat this is to us, want to do something. And so through Adventure Scientists and through a lot of other great opportunities, they can do something. Instead of being worried about preaching to the choir, let's mobilize the choir and let's get the choir working together.
Is that a line you say all the time? That was really, really good.
I've said it once before. Yeah, I've never said it in a film before. I've said it on stage before, yeah, but never in a film. I was always really passionate about nature and conservation before my kids were born.
Listo?
Sure, they have given me this tangible future I'm working for, but I already cared deeply. If anything, it's given me two little buddies to go and share nature with. What kind of bird do you see?
Wild wing?
Red wing, yeah. To expose them to, it's like this zest for life, right? It's this, you only live once, seize the moment, opportunity, and I find that in nature. I find that in looking around and taking the time to actually notice what's going on in the world.
He's fast.
Ultimately, I look at the challenges we face and I know that it's going to take some of the most brilliant scientists, engineers, and thinkers to get us past these challenges. The work that we do is all about accelerating and amplifying those scientists, those engineers, those inventors' abilities to succeed. We've got thousands and thousands of people behind what we're doing, and together we can achieve something so much bigger than what I could ever do alone. My hope for the future is just that I'm happy. To me, that means that the organization has had a lasting impact on the world. It means my kids are exposed to nature and thriving. It means that I've been a good husband and a good friend. It's living a life of passion and making sure that I leave this place better than I found it.